All right, we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're talking today about inner healing to release emotional baggage and to radiate confidence. And I'm Jody Solberg, a certified master hypnotherapist with 25 plus now years of experience in the mental and behavioral health field, helping people to break through all those subconscious blocks and barriers that keep us stuck in cycles and patterns that aren't serving us, things that are programmed in us and ingrained from a really young age. And we keep playing out over and over and over again. So, help people through the effects of things like trauma and anxiety, as well as burnout cycles, and helping you to embrace your neurodiversity, learning how your brain works and how to work with it rather than at cross purposes and working against your nature. And so I'm here with my friend Kate Simpson. So, Kate, so excited to be here with you today. Do you want to do a quick introduction of yourself and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Kate Simpson. I'm an energy healing practitioner. I work with both people and pets. And what I do is I help people release emotional baggage. And essentially, that's just throughout our whole lives. Essentially, as we're going through life, we feel so many things. But how many of us have ever felt like we bottled up an emotion or we just chose not to feel? And essentially, that creates an energy that's trapped in our body, and that can disrupt different parts of your body. And so, a lot of people with chronic issues, chronic pain, chronic, emotional patterns that lead to these things that Jody's talking about, like burnout and stress and overwhelm. And so, I help identify and release that very quickly, very simply, so the body can actually recover. The body can rebalance and repair itself from that emotional energy that's trapped. And so we have a lot going on between the two of us, which I'd love to dive into our inner healings. And I'd love for you, Jody, actually to just start with talking a little bit about hypnotherapy. And I know for some people, they have preconceived ideas of what hypnotherapy is or how it can actually help them, and how it can really make an actual change in how they show up in the world long term. So can you share a little bit more about that?
I would love to. Absolutely. It's one of my favorite topics because I feel like hypnosis is one of the things that's most misrepresented in the media, in our society. And all people really know about it sometimes is they've seen maybe stage hypnosis at the fair, or they've seen movies with pocket watches swinging in front of people's faces. And so they don't really understand what hypnotherapy is. And in order to do that, I think learning what hypnosis is and isn't is really important. And so, hypnosis is just a state. It's basically an intentional relaxation for a positive purpose, right? And with hypnotherapy, we're adding in the therapeutic techniques in that more relaxed state. That's it. So it's not anything that feels eerie or strange. You aren't asleep. You aren't unconscious. You're not out of control. It's actually a state of heightened focus and awareness. And we're just blocking out the outside world and tuning inward. And we do that all the time, actually. So we are in a slower, more relaxed brainwave state. And that happens whenever you're watching TV, when you're reading a book, when you're thinking about your next vacation or what you're going to make for dinner or your to do list on your way home, and you kind of check out, and then all of a sudden you show up in your driveway and you don't remember making all of those turns. Well, you were focused on something else, but your subconscious mind, which controls 90 to 95% of everything, was in charge. It knows how to get home. It's gotten
Mhm.
home a million times, right? But our conscious mind is only really in control of about 5 to 10%. And that's your really limited short term memory. All the rest of your memory is in your subconscious. It's your kind of willpower, your planning and goal setting and things like that. But it's also where emotions like anxiety and anger and fear live. And so when we want to really understand ourselves, we need to go into that subconscious state, which is much easier to do when you're relaxed. When those brainwave states are slower and you're more relaxed, we can access the longer term memories. We can access all of those other emotions, and we can access our creativity and our imagination. And that's also where neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to change, is at its peak, is when we slow down, right, intentionally for this positive purpose of making changes. And so it's a very similar, again, you do this every day. Similar feeling is when you're kind of relaxing on the couch or getting ready to fall asleep, but you're still aware. You can still hear. I know I can still hear my husband getting ready in the bathroom. I can still hear my dog needing to go out. You can still hear all of those things, and your body's really relaxed, but your mind is active and awake. And that's really all we're doing. So it's helping you learn how to relax, which honestly, most people could use. Right, most people could use some time in our busy, busy lives and all the information coming into our brains all the time with technology. Could use some intentional relaxation, and it helps you to be able to make those changes a lot faster. If you are, for example, let's say you're trying to change a habit or say an affirmation, and you do it just at that conscious level. So you're wide awake, you're alert, active, what's called beta in our brainwave states, and we try to change something, it can take up to 400 repetitions to change. That's a lot. And that's why people give up on their New Year's resolutions, right? Because we're just trying to set a goal with our conscious mind. We're like, why can't we just do the things we know we need to do? Well, often because there are hidden emotions in our conflicts, past experiences where our subconscious is trying to protect us from feeling uncomfortable and going out of our comfort zone or doing something new, and we get blocked. And so when we're able to calm that down and relax that, we're able to cut down on those repetitions. If you just engage in play while you're learning, that creativity and imagination, it can bring those repetitions down to 20. With hypnosis, we can bring it down to more like 6, which is amazing. So there's a ton of research on that, and it's really incredible that we can create real and lasting change faster, which is actually why I became a hypnotherapist way back in 2001 when I was in grad school for clinical psychology, is it just made sense to me. Why talk in circles around the same thing over and over for years on end on that conscious level when we could create that real change that will last longer and really get reinforced in our brain? We can create a new pattern and reinforce it quicker through accessing the subconscious with hypnotherapy. So I can utilize techniques like cognitive and behavioral techniques, somatic regulation strategies and techniques, all sorts of different types of therapeutic modalities within hypnosis, and that's what's called hypnotherapy.
Love that so much. So good. It really does. It clears things out because it really is that simple that when the mind is relaxed, it is not, or your body is relaxed, essentially. Your mind's more active, but it just now can take in that therapy, that suggestions, and just move you forward. And from personal experience, I've never been able to describe it as well as you do, but it's just this incredible relaxing feeling, but yet at the same time your body starts to respond in just new, more positive ways, and you don't even have to think about it. It's like later you just start to notice that your reactions are different, or the way that you think about something is different, or in some cases I noticed just tension in my body. When my body would tense up, my subconscious automatically would start relaxing again. So it's absolutely fascinating, and I absolutely love what you do, and I love what we do together with Inner Healing, where we combine energy healing with the guided self-hypnosis meditations.
I
So
do too. Yeah, it's amazing because our mind and our body are so connected. Like you were saying, it's very important to realize that connection. And you have to opt in for both of what we do. We have to be willing participants. And that's, I think, the other thing that people think is like, oh, somebody else will be controlling you or doing something. And that's not the case at all. It's you giving your consent to relax, just like nobody else can make you go to sleep. I cannot tell you to sleep and you'll just sleep. That's not how this works. But you have to choose to go to sleep, but you have to choose to relax. You have to choose to participate. And so it's important to realize that nobody's going to tell you what to think or feel or how to act. That all comes from within you. If I even tried to tell you something that was against what you wanted to do, your subconscious would just reject it anyway and be like, yeah, whatever, that doesn't apply to me. And that's okay. It's important to know that, they say all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. And that's why, because you do have to choose to do it. No one can make you to relax and to do those things. And if you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. Because if you don't want to relax, that's okay. You don't have to. But that's where those 1700s pocket watches come in. And it is very 1700s before they understood how people's brains worked, right? They thought, oh, we need to like swing something in front of their face or do something. It works just fine. But here's why it works. And so I'll give everybody the secret from the movies right now is because it makes your eyeballs tired. It makes your eyes dry to just watch something in the air swing back and forth. And it makes you want to blink and close your eyes. You all are perfectly capable of closing your own eyes. So, I can just invite you to, be mindful, present with your breathing. Choose when you want to close your eyes. You don't even have to close your eyes if you don't want to, which is great. But it is a very similar feeling to things like meditation or prayer or daydreaming or any kind of like just focus, right? Again, relaxation and focus together. We just go a little deeper and have a positive purpose behind it where we're specifically creating change. And Kate, I love how you explain, because you are also amazing at explaining the energy healing that you do in a very practical, scientific way. And I love how you and I both talk about emotions and what happens because our thoughts create emotions, which are those physiological responses in our body that we put words to, that then create behaviors, either internally in our physiology, because your subconscious is also very much in charge of all of your bodily processes we don't have to think about, and our external habits. So, will you please explain what you do and how emotions are experienced and how sometimes they can get stuck?
Yeah, absolutely. And you said it, it's physiological. Many of us don't think about the fact that emotions are a physical response that happens in our body. And, if you take it in a very simple way, everything is energy. We live in an energy world. You're made of energy, I'm made of energy. And every thought we think, every emotion we feel is also a simple vibration of energy. And so when you receive input from your environment, whether that be something you see or hear or feel or witness or think about, whatever it is, that's input. And essentially, your subconscious then triggers a reaction in your brain. It's a chemical reaction that happens in your brain, which sends a signal to one of your organs or glands. And one of those organs or glands produces this vibration of energy. And we call that a feeling, because we feel it. Okay. That's the type of energy that we feel. So, whatever emotion that is, whether that be positive, negative, or neutral, that is a feeling that is meant to be experienced based on whatever input that you got from your environment. So, whether that was your own thoughts, whether that was something you witnessed or heard or tasted or whatever it is, that emotion was created. And I always show it like a wave, very simply. Your body produces an emotion, you then feel it, and then it moves right along. There's no reason to hold on to it. It's meant to be energy in motion. And so, with that, whether it's a positive or a negative, we feel it and we let it go. And that's just a normal, healthy emotional experience. If you think about hearing a really funny joke, right? You start to bust out laughing, right? So your body produced that energy and then it moved along. You don't laugh literally for the rest of your life, right? You feel it and you let it go. And that's the same thing for negative emotions, things that are maybe overwhelmed or stressful or frustrating or fearful or whatever, those negative anger, whatever it is, you feel that energy and then you're meant to process that energy. The problem typically occurs when something is maybe a little too overwhelming, or there's just too much happening in our life. We're too stressed out. And instead of allowing that healthy wave to happen, we end up suppressing that emotion, that energy in our body. So as soon as it gets up here where we're feeling it, we're like, nope, not dealing with that. How many of us have ever said, I am not dealing with this right now? And it could be the situation, but you're also suppressing the feeling that you have. And so that energy goes straight into or right outside of your body. And wherever that energy is trapped, essentially that's now a vibration, like a ball of energy that is disrupting your body. It could be disrupting tissues, organs, muscles, glands, brainwave functions. And part of you just stays in that anger, that frustration, that overwhelm. And it'll put you in a situation where the next time you could feel overwhelmed or stressful or angry, you start to feel it again. And instead of allowing it, now you're more likely to trap that again and trap that energy again. It doesn't mean you'll do it every time, but you're more likely to continuously trap some of these emotions over and over again because your body is now used to vibrating at that frequency. And so with energy healing, it's a beautiful, simple process that allows us to just ask the body what energy is suppressed or trapped or contributing to a certain area or issue that you're dealing with. And your subconscious knows. Your subconscious is that incredible record keeper. So it can tell us through muscle testing, which is the approach we use. It can tell us exactly what emotional energy needs to be released. And it's very simple to release. It's a beautiful, simple, and very quick, like laser targeted way to let things go. And the best part is you don't have to think about it. You don't have to relive an experience. You don't even have to remember when you felt that emotion. You can just identify it and let it go. And it's incredible what happens when you let the energy go. Your body then, responds physically, and you can physically feel a relaxation. You can physically feel lighter, more energized, more alert. Some people need to take a nap. Some people instantly feel tired, depending on what that was about. And then, not only with the physical things, but now, working with a lot of different clients, they find that releasing a lot of this energy, they start to notice that they have more control over their emotions. They're able to think more appropriately and respond to life and situations better because they are not reactive, because they don't have all these bottled up emotions inside of them. So that's the beauty of emotions, releasing emotions. We can release all kinds of other energies as well, but truly the foundation is something as pure as emotions. I mean, I think it's the CDC that said like over 80% of chronic conditions actually has an emotional component to it. So if we can release those emotions, the body's free to just rebalance itself. So and I don't know if we have anybody on live or not. If we do, or if not, I mean, I'd love to actually demonstrate how simple and fast it is to release an emotion. So do we have, I don't know if we can tell if you're on live.
If anybody is watching live and you want to raise your hand, go ahead and put that in the comments and we'll see it. And you can get a little demo. Otherwise, I'm happy to volunteer as well. But yeah, exactly like you said, Kate, while we're giving people a moment here, 85% was what the CDC came out with. So, that's at least, right? 85% of physical health conditions have a psychological component. Again, our minds and our bodies are so interconnected. And so I love what you and I both do, because in our inner healing sessions that we collaborate on together, you start with the releasing of the negative energies and emotions that may have been stuck, and people don't even realize that they're suppressed, right? And then I go in and help them repattern and reprogram their subconscious mind so that they don't keep sticking the emotions, right? They don't keep suppressing those things in their nervous systems, in their subconscious. They are able to learn how to process and release in a way that's going to serve and support them much better moving forward. So it really is such a complementary process, that we have really perfected over this last year together of how we can work so well together. So yeah, why don't we go ahead and I don't see any comments yet. So why don't you go ahead and use me as your guinea pig today? And I'm
Yes.
happy to have some things released.
Yes, definitely. So, typically, when I work with clients, I use a very simple process, and I can do this with an individual, and I can do it in a group setting, which is what Jody and I do for the inner healing sessions that we've been talking about. But I'm going to use muscle testing. So I'm going to put little rings with my fingers, and I'm going to interlock them. And all muscle testing is a way to measure like subtle muscle tightness and weakness, and we can assign like a positive value or a negative value to that. So if I ask Jody, which she's already volunteered, so I have her consent, but now I'm just going to ask her subconscious if it's okay for us to connect energetically and essentially to allow this process to happen. What I'm essentially asking is it okay for me to act as a proxy? So essentially I can do the muscle testing on my own body. And so I'm going to ask her subconscious, is it okay for us to connect? And so I'm getting a yes. Now, if my fingers had pulled apart, that would have been a no. And for some reason, that process couldn't happen in this moment. Okay. But we've got a good positive yes. So I'm just going to ask if it's right, safe, and appropriate. And if Jody subconsciously is ready, willing, and able. And that is a yes. So that allows us to just know that we have a good connection. And I'm just going to ask if Jody has some trapped emotions. And again, trapped emotions are simply our emotional baggage, things that we suppressed that we didn't even know we suppressed. Okay. So we're just going to ask if you have a trapped emotion that can be released right now. And that is a yes. So I have this big chart of emotions. I'm just going to find the emotion that's suppressed. And it's the emotion of wishy-washy. Okay, so this energy, okay, it's a vibration of energy. We gave it that word, but it's essentially like feeling weak or spiritless, undecided or irresolute, something like that. It's that type of energy. So we have this wishy-washy example, and so this is trapped in the body. And I'm just going to ask if there's anything else we need to know or decode or find out in order to release this emotion. And there's nothing else we need to know. We just identified it and we can let it go. And to do that, I'm just going to use my hands today. Your hands are magnetic. And I'm going to be using an acupuncture meridian called the governing meridian, which goes over the head and all the way down the back. So I'm just going to use that meridian, and I'm just going to grab that energy of wishy-washy and just release that from the body. And although I did the motion on my body, we're connected. So that released from Jody. And so I'm just going to ask, has that energy been released? And that is a very strong yes response from the body. And that's as simple as it is to release an emotion. And you don't have to know when or why or how you felt wishy-washy. I don't know if you can identify with that or not. You seem like a very decisive person in general. So
Generally, but we all, I think, have moments, right, of uncertainty or wishy-washiness. So,
yes.
and that's the thing is that's so beautiful too, is we don't always have to pinpoint exactly when something right back into it. We can just know that at some point that got suppressed, but it was probably because I'm such a decisive person. I was like, well, I can't deal with that right now. I don't know. And I'm just going to move on. I'm busy. I'm doing my thing. Right. And that just got stuck a little bit. So thank you for helping that to be released.
Absolutely. So we're going to just do one more quick thing, if that's okay. I want to add in a positive energy to just because kind of fill the gap. We released the negative energy. So let's fill that back in with kind of a different energy. So we're going to do resolute. Okay. So we're just going to add in this positive energy right now. And that has been added in. So beautiful. So that's as simple as it is to move energy out of the body, but it's so powerful when you can just one emotion after the other. And that's the beauty when we work together with our group sessions. We have a specific topic in mind, and we're releasing for everybody in that group that energy around that focus or topic. So I think the next one we're dealing with is emotional baggage. Geared towards, we really want to radiate confidence. And so things that would be stopping us from feeling confident or causing that behavior pattern to maybe take us into insecurity or something like that, we'll release the energy around that. And then Jody will come in with the hypnotic meditation and just completely move us in the positive, confident direction. And I would love for everyone to experience that. It's such a powerful way to combine and complement what we do together.
Yeah, it really is, truly. And, when we're talking about releasing that emotional baggage, that could be a lot of different things, right? Everybody's going to have their own, but there's so much that's universal. That's
Yeah.
one of the things in all my years of working with people therapeutically that I found is as different as we all are, we have very few experiences that aren't shared in some way. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it may be in a different way at a different time. Different things happen. We have different parts and pieces to our lives, and we're very different people. And we all experience things like being wishy-washy sometimes, or
Yes.
we, all have these different experiences, whether they're in our lives or, in our families, of things like, traumas and fears and stressors. And again, we live in a very much a chronic stress world
Oh,
nowadays,
very
right?
much.
Like we were talking about. And a lot of times you're like, I can't deal with that right now. I have to deal with that later because I have to take care of, whatever's going on right in front of me. And so we all have things that get stuck. And so when we're going into a session, let's say on releasing emotional baggage, it's great because what you and I both do is general enough, again, and you're, checking for the group to be able to release all of those things that are shared experiences. And at the same time, specific enough to where everyone gets what they need as individuals and they get the things that they need to be released specifically for them. And same thing, when we go into my session, I make them general and specific at the same time. It's something you definitely have to experience because I'll have that topic and I'll be speaking to that topic, but in your own mind, you are imagining whatever it was you need to get rid of, or you want to change, or you have decided that you're going to break that cycle around. That whatever those patterns are, those are the things that your subconscious knows for you are happening. And those are the changes that we can heal, those inner conflicts that we can resolve, those patterns that maybe have been going on for generations, that what you don't want. We can help you figure out what you do want to replace that with. And that's the beauty of it. So we are in March this month. We have 2 sessions. The first one on releasing emotional baggage and the second one on radiating confidence. And so either one or both are really going to be amazing for pretty much all of us. I mean, we could all use that emotional baggage to be released, and we could all stand to have some more radiant confidence, right? So I highly recommend to check those out. I'm going to put the link up that will take you right to our calendar so you can see exactly when those sessions are and what we're going to be doing. We typically do offer 2 sessions a month. They're hour-long sessions for just $67 per session. And you can do them on the replay. So that's the beauty of this too. You can be live, or if you register, we'll know you're going to be there. Kate can help you release all the things you're on the list. And then you can listen to that guided hypnotic meditation from me later on the replay. And I actually have a little gift since you did a little demo. Kate, one of the things that I would love to do if someone's curious and they're wanting to experience what one of the guided hypnotic meditations is like before, because they're like, I don't know, I've been watching too many movies. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. I'm going to send you over to my website. And I will pop that in here. And Kate, you can put yours in too if you'd like to do that. But I'm going to have you all go to psychedupsuccess.com because I have a free guided hypnotic meditation download there. So if you just want to experience it, it's just a little mental vacation, like little relaxing getaway guided session. But if you all go on my website, it'll pop
Nice.
up on the screen. You can do
Yay.
that since we got a little free demo from Kate. I will send you over there. So psychedupsuccess.com, you can go ahead and just click on favorite resources and loads. And so there's the relaxing getaway guided session right there. You can check that out. It will just pique your interest. You can see what it's like, and then we'll get into much more targeted work when we all work together. But that is something I think that helps because it is like a guided meditation, just deeper, more targeted work.
Yeah.
That's really all it is. I'm not super generic in that I'm not going to say, in our inner healing sessions or in my one-to-one sessions, I'm not going to say, hey, go to this field with this pond and this rainbow and this bridge, and things like that. I invite you to tap into your most peaceful space. I invite you to pull from your subconscious mind what those experiences are that are going to be best suited for you, right? The work that you need that day. Because if I just, go and say, hey, this happened and let's take this and imagine that, then it's not that customized experience. So this is just a good example, right? To take you on a little vacation getaway in your mind. But know that when you get into our inner healing sessions, that is when we're going to do that deeper, really targeted work. And it is going to be open to your own subconscious interpretation because your subconscious knows what you need to release and what you need to work on. And it's your mind that's going to be reprogramming itself. So I'm really excited to share this with everybody today. And Kate, what would you like to share before we close out about our sessions?
Yeah, I hope you'll join us. It'll be one really impactful hour. You deserve to give yourself this as a gift, or give it as a gift to somebody that you know. It's really it's something that in our crazy, busy lifestyle, to take that 1 hour just for you, for healing and recovery, can make such an impact on your life going forward. So I hope you'll check out the inner healing sessions with Jody and I. We'd love to see you there live.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope this helped you to understand a little bit more about the science behind what hypnotherapy and energy healing is. And we hope to see you in our session soon. Take care, and we will see you in our sessions. Bye, everyone.